Welcome back to our AskReddit series. Today, we're diving into some of the most shocking and downright disturbing stories about evil ex-friends. These aren't your typical friendship fallouts, these are tales of betrayal, backstabbing, and sabotage that left people questioning everything they thought they knew about trust. From friends who schemed behind each other's backs to those who went out of their way to ruin lives, these Redditors have been through it all. Get ready for a wild ride as we read through some of the most jaw-dropping stories about ex-friends who turned out to be true villains. U/pixelated_penguin808 responded. Not really a friend. Rather his mother. When I was kid, I used to hang out all the time with another kid whose mother was sort of the stereotypical Italian mother. Way too involved, a bit of a smotherer. But she seemed nice. Once I stopped around his house, this was the 80s, so no cell phones, and he and his family wasn't home, but some other kids across the street called me over and Elle started hanging out with them. Fast forward an hour or so and the friend who wasn't home comes home with his parents. The mom comes over and invites me in their house to play Atari or something like that. The other kids weren't invited, and it seemed rude to ditch the other kids, so guilt kicked in and I declined. Just seemed like the right thing to do, but friend's mom apparently took this as a slight. To teach me a lesson, she then ordered a pizza and when it arrived invited all the kids in their house except me. Obviously the other kids went for the pizza and I got ditched, for trying to do the right thing. I was so hurt by it I refused to hang out with her son again and that was pretty much the end of OU friendship. U/tired canine responded. She came to my roommate's room crying. We of course let her in and tried to find out what was wrong. She starts telling us all about her relationship and how it's gone so wrong. She's been abusing her partner for literal months, being physically violent to him, emotionally manipulative, and threatening suicide every time he tries to leave her. Meanwhile, she's gotten super close to his family and her partner has been too ashamed to tell any of them what she's been doing to him. Only her side of the story has reached them. Finally, the partner has managed to cut ties fully and block her everywhere and tell his brother about it, ensuring he has some support. However, evidently, she's just taken a pregnancy test and it's positive. So she wants to get back in touch with him so he can take responsibility, but she adds in that it'd be nice if he texted her for her birthday too. And really they should just talk because she's sure she can convince him to come back to her. My roommate and I are just making horrified eye contact and trying to firmly tell her that she needs to leave this poor man alone and get her shit together. Eventually we calm her down enough that she decides to go home and leaves our dorm. I have no idea what happened with the situation after that. We made a real effort not to ever see her again. She ended up getting kicked out of our college for calling in a false gun threat. No idea why she told us everything. We weren't that close and we thought never gave off vibes that we would be okay and supportive of abuse. U/inside_soup_5964 responded. Where do I start? We moved to a new apartment together. About a month later, she let her wealthy fiancé move in without telling me until days before, without asking me if it was okay. And I was still expected to pay half the rent. Months later, when I couldn't handle it, I had to ask her to make him cover his portion. She would tell me rude things and expect me to have no reaction. She would tell me how to spend my money and would act surprised when I got pissed off. Then she would say, "Wow, I didn't think you were the kind of person who let money matter to them." After she forced me to move out, she didn't send me anything I asked her to send me. Everything I really treasured that was too big for my 2 pieces of luggage were all lost: paintings I bought from my favorite artist, my jewelry making supplies, my clothes. Of course, she kept everything I ever gave her. I still cry thinking about it now. U/ambitiousbad178 responded. Childhood best friend, CHBF, invited me to an out-of-town music festival, didn't offer a ticket. The ticket thing really shouldn't matter, but it will, nor did they let me know what the hotel arrangement was. I meet CHBT there, after making my own hotel arrangements, only to find out that CHBF had brought someone else whom I'd never met and whom they just met a few months prior. His ticket and hotel were paid for. We went on, no biggie. I brought some alcohol and some weed. CHBF said they would sneak it in. They rushed on at the gate. I didn't see them for a while. I, luckily, had other people there I could hang out with. We find each other later for them to admit they'd already drank and burned most of everything that I had brought. Left on the spot and went on a 3-hour drive home. This was only the beginning. Some bullshit came before this and much more came afterwards. LVE, since, gone great lengths to not have to see this person again. U/Arsfies responded. I had a miscarriage, and in response to that news my best friend attached pictures of her own 3-month-old baby, ostensibly to cheer me up. At the end of her condolence email, we had grown up together but settled in different cities. I was so stunned by this that I wasn't sure how to address it. I thought she had perhaps attached the pictures by mistake. She was after all my best friend of many years, so surely she wouldn't have been so insensitive, so I didn't reply. For the sake of loving her, and I wanted to continue to love her, I decided it wasn't deliberate, but it was quite hurtful and it stayed on my mind. At our next in-person visit, a few months later, she brought up that she had had the idea to send me the baby pictures but thought it might hurt my feelings, but also that her baby was just so cute, so she asked her husband, a psychologist, if it would be cruel. He reassured her it would be fine, so she attached them. I was even more shocked by this revelation. I could forgive thoughtlessness, but to have her say to my face that she'd thought it could hurt me, but went looking for permission to do it anyway because her baby was cute. Nah. It ended our friendship. U/MosesX859 responded. Noticed beforehand for several of his life actions. But definitely, the day before my wedding, he was a groomsman. We had mass stuff going on to prepare. Everyone rushing doing our stuff and him just completely ignoring us. So I went down his house to knock and see what's up. No answer. So I knock hard AF cause we got shit to do and maybe he's sleeping. Finally answers. Flips out, no warning. Fuck you. Fuck your wedding, I ain't going. You ain't my friend. Just a bunch of wild out of nowhere shit. Slams door in my face. So I'll knock even harder like WTF. I at least want an answer on why you doing this the day before. It's super messed up. Then tries acting like he gonna fight me. I say go ahead, let's do it. That's when he goes back inside his house yelling okay I got you. I got you. Then from behind his door, he's just standing there with the door closed, cocking his firearm over and over. I holler through the door. If you wanna shoot me, then at least have the balls open the door and look at me while YA do it. Then nothing. I went home, come to find out. He was pissed off cause his GF caught him talking to other women, so he took that out on me. The friendship didn't even end there cause I forgave that whole BS, later on, though I ended the whole deal for good for other reasons he caused after. U/sad_detail 404 respondef. Dude is one of those people who believes in basically every conspiracy theory short of flat earth. That's okay if you want to believe that stuff, but he posts about how Sandy Hook was a false flag on social media. I told him that all his evidence is pretty easily debunked and I think it's really fucking despicable to accuse people who lost their kids in a mass shooting of being crisis actors online when you have no credible proof that they are lying. He asked me to name one piece of evidence that is easily debunked. I told him to name one and I would debunk it. He then claimed that the medical examiner, who he referred to as a coroner even though that's a totally different thing, said in an interview that he couldn't tell whether Adam Lanza shot himself with an AR-15 or a handgun. He said that this was obviously not true because he should be able to tell the difference, so because the medical examiner was lying that it was evidence of a false flag. He sent me a video that he was getting this information from and it was heavily edited. Not only that, but the medical examiner never said what he claimed. I found the original unedited version of the video and not only did the medical examiner never say that, he very clearly stated the opposite when asked the question. I pointed this out and he refused to acknowledge it. He then made another false claim about that same video and again I showed him that what he was claiming wasn't true. I asked him to acknowledge that he was wrong and he wouldn't do it even though I know we both knew he was wrong. He still posts that bullshit despite knowing it's not true. U/RedBlueBlur responded. When he asked to borrow £100 for the home essentials and he went and spent it on cocaine and beer. I didn't bother hanging around to not get the money back. This was the last act of insincerity I was going to take. After using me for lifts to and from places, he'd ask if I wanted to hang out conveniently for him. It would be an hour or two before his shift would start. And the time I decided to walk to his house he got visibly annoyed and asked if LD walk back to get my car to take him to work. He'd get pissed and jealous if I started seeing a girl and hung out with her on a day he wanted to see me. I never cancelled plans on him. For some reason it took me years to realize I wasn't a friend to him but a service, so L moved on and never spoke to him again. The man is a plague. LV since been told of others he's treated the same way. U/smart_ranger 3452 responded. She told me about how she legally got her ex to pay thousands of dollars in child support, then posted a Facebook status about how she's a single mom and has never gotten any child support. This is after she stole money from the company where I helped her get a job, and also scammed me several times. Would travel to other countries and then set up GoFundMe pages for medical bills etc. Her brother told me to give up because she's a serial con artist and has taken advantage of basically every friend and family member. Which is why she's trying to get sympathy online now from people who don't really know her. U/KelsogAmesonly responded. Wildly, the first thing that tipped me off was when I realized a group of 4 adult women would make plans, even down to what movie we watched. We always ended up doing what she chose. There was always a discussion, but we always had to do it her way. The first time we managed to make plans that weren't what she chose to do, she didn't go, and then was genuinely pissed to find out we went without her. She fully assumed when she said she wasn't interested that the 3 other adult women just wouldn't go. She got way worse, but we had to look past it for our own sanity. Have friends outside of work, kids? U/Whitwefs 1234 responded. There were a lot of moments, but I chalked it up to the guy being younger and mentally and emotionally immature. He and I work in the same office, but he makes at least $20,000 more than me. We went out with a group of other people to celebrate a mutual co-worker's B-day, and since no one else offered to pay, I did. I was trying to calculate how much to request them to pay me back via Venmo, but before I could do that, he decided on a lower amount than he should have paid. Then another person paid me the same amount. Thankfully, the other 2 people in the group paid me a little more, but honestly, I paid for more of the meal than I should have. Mind you, everyone in this group makes more than me. I know for sure, this dude, and 2 other people make almost twice my pay, maybe more. Anyways, since then, LVE decided that I'm not going to hang out with him unless the other people are there. The other person who paid the same amount as this guy no longer works with us and lives farther away, so L don't have to worry as much about them. U/no_detective_118 responded. When she told me she slept with a known and admitted pedophile she met on a dating app. He told her what he wanted to do to her 4-year-old daughter, in detail, and she still slept with him. She sent him pictures of her nursing her daughter and in the bath. She claimed she reported him to the cops, but I didn't believe her. Ended at 10 years of friendship in 1 minute. Got screenshots and I was down at the police department within 20 minutes. Gave them everything. Then I met with CPS because I'll be damned if my goddaughter is going to face what I did at the same age. She was pulled from her care that day. Her dad still has full custody, and the last I heard from her was a message last year about how I abandoned her in her worst moment and betrayed her. Never replied. Just blocked on everything. It's been 4 years, and I miss the person I thought she was. I miss my goddaughter. My son is the same age and he has struggled greatly with the loss of her. Her father and I were never on good terms. I hope one day both of them will understand why. My heart hurts still, but writing it all out helps give me perspective that I was never the one who ruined her life. U/CrazySteve 148 responded. 1. During college he started abusing prescription drugs, getting drunk out of his mind and wandering campus getting into trouble. 2. His other friends slowly started cutting him out of their lives. 3. I invited him into my newfound friend group and they started getting a bad vibe from him. 4. He started pursuing women in relationships and then dumping them after they broke up with their boyfriends. 5. He got drunk and tried to attack me. 6. I got him a job and he missed several shifts and then drove drunk home from several work functions. These were all spaced out enough and came to light at such a pace that I just woke up one day and realized he wasn't someone I had any interest in even seeing on the street, so I cut him off and haven't spoken to him in 5 years now. I still find out the occasional fucked up thing he did in the last several years of our friendship and cringe. Thanks for watching, everyone. Like and subscribe for more videos like this one. If you enjoyed this video and want to dive even deeper into our community, consider becoming a channel member. Members get exclusive perks like early access to videos, custom emojis, shoutouts, etc. And it's a great way to support the channel so I can keep bringing you the content you love.